Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to go over making actions, but not just making actions for an image or a project that you've already opened up and pulled in, but making templates. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to record everything that we do to make a template, and we're going to save it out as an action. And what we're going to be making today is a business card standard of ISO 7810, and I'll show you what we're going to come out with here. All ready to go. And then when I'm ready to get started on my design, I just go ahead and shut down my layout and start designing away. It's a huge time saver. We don't have a ton of PSDs sitting in a folder for templates. So we're saving our disk space and our time. And if the rest of you are designing for a living too, then you know time is money. So let's go ahead and close this out. We won't save it. I'm going to start this just like I did with my file for myself. And we're going to start out by creating a new folder here. And we're going to give it the name of the business card standard, which is again ISO 7810 ID-1. Go ahead and hit enter for OK. Now with our folder created, let's go down here and create new action, which is this looks like a piece of paper with the corner folded right next to the garbage can here. Let's go ahead and name this action with our ISO standard here, 7810 ID-1, and go ahead and hit enter and start recording our actions here. Now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come over to File, New. Our dialog box will come up for us here. We're going to go ahead and name the file again with our ISO standard. Now the finished measurements for the ISO 7810 standard, the finished card is 3.370 inches with a height of 2.125 inches. And what we want to do is we want to take those finished dimensions and we want to add 1/4 of an inch on the height and on the width. That will accommodate an 1/8 inch of bleed on each side of the card. The dimensions you're looking at here with our 1/4 inch added for our width, that's going to give us a measurement of 3.62 inches. And for the height, it's going to give us a total, supposed to be a total of 2.375 inches, but for some reason, Photoshop likes to round it up to 2.377. Then since this is for a print project, or a print template, we're going to set the resolution to 300. Color mode, again, since it's print, we don't want to be on RGB. We want to come down here and select CMYK. We'll go ahead and leave our background to white. And then we're going to go ahead and just say OK. Now with our card up, the first thing we're going to do, and I know a lot of people still do this because I've seen it in their tuts that they've put up, they want to come over here with their cursor inside the ruler and click and drag their guide out. If you know where your guides are going, you don't have to do that, and you can get it precisely where you want it. Let's do this first though. Check your rulers, see where it increment that you're on, whether it's pixels, inches, centimeters, or whatnot. Go ahead and right click there and make sure that you're on inches for this. Now let's go to View. Let's go down here to New Guide. And what this is going to do is it's going to let us put our position in inches where we want our guide, and it'll go ahead and snap it out there for us. The first guidelines we're going to put in are our vertical lines here, and I know that the first thing I want all the way around the card is an 1/8 inch in for my bleed, and an 1/8 inch converted to a decimal point is 0.125. Go ahead and hit enter, and that gave us our first guide at an 1/8 inch. So now we're just going to come back up here to view, new guide again, and we're going to double that 0.125 to give us our 1/4 inch in, because an 1/8 inch in from our bleed, we want our safe area, so that when they cut, the printer cuts on this vertical line that we have here, which represents our bleed, we know that all of our content, text, or important images are going to be inside of our safe area. So we're going to go ahead and set that in at a 1/4 inch, which is 0.25. Enter for OK. And then we'll go ahead and get the guides for the right hand side over here. New guide. And all you have to do is take your total measurement and subtract 0.125, and then subtract a 1/4. Now the last one that you'll do will actually be the finished size of the card, so it'll be 2.125. So the first to last guide we're going to have here with the 1/8 inch subtracted is 2.25. Nope, sorry, that was for my my height. This one is going to be 3.495. Go ahead and hit enter for OK. New guide. And this one right here will be 3.370. We'll say OK. Now we're going to go ahead and put in our horizontals here. So we'll go up to view again, new guide. And the first one we do will be 0.125 for the top there. Oh, you know what I didn't do, guys? And you'll do it too, it'll happen. I'm still set on vertical, so what I did is I set another guide over here. I don't want to do that. So let's go ahead and click this over to horizontal. And let's try this again. 0.125. Go ahead and enter for OK. Now we'll set the safe line. Down here, new guide, horizontal, 0.25. And we'll go ahead and set them up for the bottom here. The first one out on the bottom is 2.25. OK. New guide one last time, and 2.125. Hit OK. Now we're done. We've got our bleed line right here to the far outside of the card, and the inner guide is for our safe area. And just to remind us what we're going to do here before we stop our recording is we're going to create a new layer, which is getting logged in our recording here. We're going to go ahead and come up here, grab our, what is this? Marching ants tool. Our marquee tool. Sorry guys, I'm real tired. Been up almost 24 hours here. Alright, so with everything selected, we're going to go ahead and right click. Going to put in a fill. The colors I like is what I'm going to use here. You guys feel free to use whatever colors you want. I like red, so we're going to go ahead and run this all the way up and all the way out. We'll say OK, OK. Control D to deselect, and then we're going to go down here and create another layer. Use our marquee tool and come right over here in the corner where our safe area guides meet. And just drag this rectangle out. Go ahead and drop it. Right click. Fill. And we'll fill this one on top with a black. Go ahead and say OK. Hit Control D to get rid of the marching ants there. And then the next thing we're going to do here is grab our type tool, go up here, make sure our color is set to white. I set mine to 11 for my text size. Let's go ahead and type this out here. Bleed area. Go ahead and bring this up and center it. Grab our type tool again, go ahead and type it out again. And here's why I'm typing it out, guys, instead of duplicating that type layer with the Control J. Is if you duplicate it, it's not going. You see how make layer right here doesn't have an arrow next to it? Now, when we get to the end of this, we're going to grab all the files that we create over here in our layers panel, and we're going to group them. Now, if I was to do a Control J on this type layer, when I grouped everything together and I go ahead and I stop the recording, I close this template out. When I go back to the action we just made and I click on play, when it opens up, all of the type layers that I duplicated with the Control J will be left outside of our group folder. And I don't want that, because I want to be able to turn off the whole group and be done with it. So that's why I type out the text every single time. So with that one done, I'm just going to hit my V key, drag it down, we'll center it up. Now, with me going through this step by step, guys, for those of you who are super familiar with this, I know it's going to be a little monotonous, but for those who are still learning Photoshop, I try to be as detailed as possible. So let's go ahead and type this out again. Okay, and we'll go ahead and just turn this around 90 degrees counterclockwise here. Center it up. Now, I should have went a little bit slower for that, guys. To rotate this, for those of you who don't know, you just come over to Edit, scroll down here to Transform, and then 90 degrees counterclockwise. Alright, so hit your T key again for your type tool, type out bleed area again. Go ahead and check it off to accept it. And we're going to go down here to Edit, Transform, and then rotate 90 degrees counterclockwise again. Hit your V key to move it over. And we're going to go ahead and center it up again. Now for the last one, we're going to go ahead and hit our T key for type. And this is our safe area. This is going to be our last one here. Go ahead and check it off to accept it. V to move it. And we'll center this bad boy up here. And we're done. Before we click stop over here on our actions, we want to come over here, make sure that we're on our top layer, come down, grab our bottom layer just above the background, and hold down Control or Command and then G to group it. And then we're going to double click on the text for our group there, and we're just going to name it Layout. That's all uppercase. Let's drop that down. Going to name it Layout. Just hit Enter to accept. And now with that done, we are completely done with setting up this template. We're going to go ahead and stop our actions recording and go up here and close this file out. No, we don't want to save our changes. That's why we made an action, so we don't have to save those PSDs anymore. Let's go ahead and collapse this. Click on the action you just made, hit play, and watch her go. All done, guys. This will work for any template you want to set up. Doesn't matter whether it's business cards, door hangers, brochures, flyers, wedding invitations, birthday cards. It doesn't matter. If you got something you want to set up guides on, and this, as you see, it works for text too. So if you want to set up some dummy text for some text boxes, you can have multiple layouts saved as different actions and give them each a name. And you're basically a third of the way to halfway done every time you start a project. Well, guys, I hope the tutorial was informative to you. I hope it taught you something. Sorry for those of you who are super Photoshop users who may have already known this. I try to make videos that help everybody out. So I just assume that nobody knows anything. This way I know I got everybody covered. Alright, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Please leave a comment, subscribe, and if you've got a video you want to see, something that you don't know or you're having trouble with, give me a shout, shoot me a message, or post something on my page. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll talk to you later.